Yeah, I think there's quite a few, you know. Like it was a funny one because I'm not a massive one for like going into like creating a character. Like I always want to try and bring as much of myself to it as possible because that's the sort of acting I think I like best in other people. So that's what I try and do. So yeah, I think like definitely like my version of flirting, I'd say, is pretty similar to his. Like I really like relationships where like you can be a little bit like mean to each other, and I'm like the intellectual sparring a little bit, but I think like lightly kind of taking the piss out of one another is something that I really liked in the dialogue between the two of them. And then like obviously more broadly, not something we get to see loads of like in the actual show, but like I think his interests in terms of like social justice and stuff is stuff that I think like he's bang on to be interested in. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, there's plenty that I could draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, the people in the chat are loving this. I'm seeing so many comments saying they're in love with you. How they, how like people want to know what is Theo's love language? That's what we want to know.
Theo's love language, I think, is setting aside books, so he can get thoughts on them. That's got to be it.
That's so sweet. Okay, brilliant. Oh, okay. This is a bit of a different one. I don't know if you're into star signs. But if the this is the questions we're getting. What would
Best.
Theo's star sign be?
Ah man, I only know I don't know that much about star signs, but I know mine. I know a little bit about mine,
What
and
are
I think
you?
I'm a Scorpio, so like
Hmm.
passionate, loyal, right? Um, I think those are two things that definitely could apply to Theo. What's Eloise? Do we know what Eloise is?
I don't know. Can someone in the chat tell us what's Eloise's star sign?
The
I would
books.
say she's probably I don't know what she is really, but in my head with interpretations of star sign, I would just say she's a Sagittarius because I'm a Sagittarius, and
What's
you know,
Sagittarius?
I just think they're like the best people ever, the best people on earth. I think that's what it says when you Google it. Anyway. But yeah. Oh, people saying Virgo. Oh, Scorpio gang
Uh,
is in the house. Oh, Eloise better be a Capricorn, better not be Aries. there's a lot of there's a lot to talk in the chat. But
we'll do.
uh literally. Right. So what would you have been? A bit of a different one here. What would you have been if you wasn't an actor?
Tricky one. I mean, printer, obviously. But other than printer, I think I was really into football when I was young. Not that I could ever have been a footballer, but maybe I would have tried to do something like to do with football. Um, but also, like one of my first side jobs when I stopped university, started acting, but I wasn't making enough money to like, live off it. Live off acting was gardening. I did a bit of like I wasn't doing like the glamour gardening. I was like helping a gardener, like doing the grunt work, like shoveling leaves and stuff. But I really enjoyed that. Like it was really I think as an actor, like to do something with your hands that has like a clear goal, you know, you've like you know what you have to do at the beginning of the day and you can do it. It's not the same really. And like when you're
Mm.
it's much more like who knows which one's going to come off. I really like that. And I've been painting recently. I've been painting
Ooh.
at my own flat. So and I love that as well. So I think something manual, which works for the.
Wow. Guys, he's a printer, he's a painter. You do everything. What don't you do? That might be a short list. But it's fabulous. Okay, we've got so many questions here. A different one. Okay, so I guess if they had Spotify, who would be on Theo's playlist?
Playlist. That's just. I'm just thinking he's on my playlist. That do you know, I've just got into. People have been telling me to listen to for so long. Um, Men I Trust.
Yeah.
So great. Um, but yeah, I don't know how much Theo and I's music taste would overlap actually, because I'm quite into like how to describe like maybe like sad dance music, like electronic music, like a bit of Robin maybe.
Oh, okay.
I've been rinsing the Bridgerton soundtrack as well. Love
the
it.
best soundtrack
Yeah.
ever. And all like the string quartet, like it's just beautiful.
Maybe something on strings, actually. Yeah. Maybe a bit more classical. We'll go for that.
Absolutely, definitely. And I mean, been a lot of questions on how it was like working with the crew of Bridgerton. So, how was it as an actor interacting with wardrobe, lighting, sound? Was it overwhelming? How did you kind of manage that?
It wasn't overwhelming. It was really great. I mean, it's such a cliche, and it's so like everyone's so lovely, but they really are so lovely on Bridgerton. They're such a great group of people. I think you get that sometimes on a long job where everyone's happy. Like you really get to know each other super well. But it was a kind of funny situation for me because I wasn't in like the scenes that take the longest to shoot are the big set pieces like the ball scenes, and
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't obviously doing any of them. So I didn't have like a week where I was with everyone. I had like a day here and there, and then I was meeting people like just around in like people's trailers and stuff. So that was kind of tricky because there's this huge like operation going on, and like the core gang all know each other super well, or on the first series, and you've got to come in and like perform just on a day and do like these big scenes, these tough scenes. So that was kind of tricky, but I think everyone else, like the crew, lighting, costume, hair and makeup, they make it easier for you 100%, especially like the costume and hair and makeup team, because I obviously had more to do with them. They're just so fantastic because they help you get into like what they do. Their magic is to like make the character, the visual of the character, so that helps you then access it in performance. So I used to love my time in the makeup trailer. I'm sure I loved it more than the girls because they were in there for like 4 hours. Yeah, yeah, it was great.
Oh, that's fabulous. And is there anyone on set which you felt like you really leaned on? Was it like a particular person? Was there someone in wardrobe and you were like, yes, love you? Just shout anyone out because people want to know.
Laura Sim. Laura Sim did my hair and makeup, and she is a diamond. She's such a gem. Her and Claudia, like I've got to say, because Claudia, um, she's someone who's been in the show. She's got so many days on that show because she's all the family stuff with Penelope, stuff with me, and she's been in it for a year. And she just went way out of her way to make me feel super comfortable, and it really paid off. I think the fact that we got on off screen, I think like I haven't had, luckily, yet an experience of working with someone where like, God, I really don't like this person. I've got to pretend to like be falling in love with them or whatever. But it was made so much easier by like how lovely and charming and fun Claudia was.
Ah, fabulous. It's nice to hear like you have banter off screen as well as
Yeah,
on screen. Because I think I speak to everyone here that could definitely feel that you two had a real good relationship, friendship off screen. And you can always tell when actors, well, not always, sometimes they mask it, but you can always tell when, like, I know you two are friends off camera, like, you're
yeah,
giving that vibe.
100%, 100%. And they are like, it was so weird. I didn't meet a bunch of people until the first episode screening, which we had back in like October, I think, of last year. And since then, like I've been hanging out with people who I didn't even have scenes with from the show. That's how like friendly and welcoming a gang they are. And everyone was like, people would stop me on, like the other actors would stop me and be like, "You're Callum, I saw you at the read through," and like it's just so nice because you don't, when you're the person on the outside, like a newbie. Yeah, it means a lot for people to go out of their way and make sure you feel welcome and comfortable.
Absolutely. And we're going to have one more question on Bridgerton when we start to bring it back in. This is my last question on Bridgerton, guys. I'm so sorry. Good one. Just having a quick gaze through all the comments. I did tell you guys there's like a lot. My question would be to you, Adam Lynch, who was in Bridgerton. This is my final question to you. Will there be a ball scene with you and Eloise? That's what I want to know.
I can picture it, can't you? Like, I can see them together. I can see him feeling a little bit uncomfortable, her just being glad he's there.
Oh my god, I love this. This is
I,
like fan fiction. Tell me.
yeah, fanfic. I think we'll have to see, but you know, yeah, it's really like for everyone who's like, you know, like responded to it, there'll always be that like series that we've had, and I'm sure it's not the last that you'll see of Theo.
I mean, Netflix, if you're watching, we demand Endgame. That's what we
Louise,
demand. Eloise Endgame. That's what we demand. That's like, I didn't even know that phrasing until the questions. I've seen it like 300 times today. But yeah, just as we're coming to an end, we have so many questions. I've seen marriage proposals. I've seen someone wants you to go to their wedding, a wedding with them. Yeah, a prom date. I've seen it all. And you can all direct that to Callum's DMs. I'm sure if he can get back to you, he will. But I really wanted to talk about the premiere and kind of how that experience was for you. And maybe any actors that, you know, are getting into their first real big jobs and the premiere is coming up. How did it kind of work?
So we all got, I think we got 4 tickets. So I got to bring 3 people with me, and 2 of the people I brought were my agents. And having them there, like for the work side of it, was super helpful, because to do all these like press interviews, which I'd done before on Zoom, because I'd only done one job before, I had to do lots of press, and that was during COVID that it came out. So having her there was really helpful, because she was like steering me between people and being like, this is who this is. And I think, I mean, it depends what sort of person you are, doesn't it? I mean, I'm not like massively, I think I like oscillate between being introverted and extroverted. And I think I was extrovert, like I'm extroverted when I need to be, you know. So I managed to really enjoy that event without it feeling like too intense. Because I think it's a mixture of things, isn't it? You're like half of it is like you're there because like the show is coming out and you need to make sure you do your part to like not sell the show, but like be around when like people want to ask you questions about it. And part of it also is just like have a great time with the people you work with. And it was the perfect marriage of those two. And I think if you tend more towards one, then like just get into that headspace. If you're like, oh, I'm worried about doing the interviews or whatever, then think, well, at least these people who I really love are going to be there. And it's a celebration of all the, you know, hard work we've put in. Yeah. It was great though. I had such a good time. And because they didn't have a premiere for series 1 again because of COVID, we went big on series.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. So I picked the right one. But yeah, it was great. It was great. Post more selfish.
Right, no, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? 4 people is so generous. If you think about how many people in Bridgerton, it was like, it must have been a party.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. It was crazy because there was loads of like, we had the green carpet and there was loads of like incredibly glamorous people who were there. I wasn't sure who they were, but my God, they looked good. And yeah, it was like just so a lot of really hot people. And then all your friends like looking incredible as well. Yeah, it was joyous, you know, like strange, not something that you could do every day, but like, yeah, beautiful thing too.
Oh, brilliant. I've got one more question here because everyone wants to know. Has it hit you yet that you're in Bridgerton? Have you actually been like, wait, I'm in Bridgerton? Like, I think maybe the second biggest series after Squid Game, I think it is officially. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I went out for a drink with a friend last week, and someone like, I didn't think it was going to happen, but someone recognized me, and then I was like, wow, this feels like it's having an impact on my actual life. But again, in a nice way, like no one, unless people start shouting like, you know, abuse at me across the street, I welcome it, because it means a lot to me that my work connects with people, you know. And I'm just like, listen, I'm a tiny part in a show that's like, the reason it's successful is not to do with me, it's to do with so many other things. But yeah, I'm loving it. And yeah, I'm loving that like people watching it are feeling what I felt when I was doing those scenes, because I was feeling those things. It was real for us. So I'm glad that it's coming across.
Oh, brilliant. I've seen so much in the chat of being like, he said there were so many hot people. Which is great. But oh look, we're at 7:45. I just wanted to end it on you kind of recapping your time at National Youth Theatre and kind of what it changed for you, if it opened any doors, just for the people watching that want to know about NYT, and if they would like to get involved, how they can do it. I will tell you at the end. But yeah, if you could share your experience a little bit. I know you did at the beginning, but I've seen a few comments asking.
Yeah, definitely. So it was a really eye-opening and like horizon broadening moment for me, because I went when I was 17. So I was in the younger group. It was like 13 to 17.
Oh, junior, yeah.
The older people. But it was amazing because it was like the first time I've been surrounded with people who loved the thing that I think maybe I think I knew I loved, but I hadn't quite admitted it to myself yet. Being surrounded by all these other people who were like, we love acting, we love like being theatre kids and stuff. And it was just really freeing to be around that for a week without like the confines of like school, and, you know, you're kind of in a new social situation for the first time, really, because well, for me anyway, I was at the same school from when I was 7 to 18. So like who I was there was really set. Whereas when you go to MIT for 2 weeks, you're discovering a new version of yourself. And then like practically, it's weirdly, I like a guy who was on my course called Otto Farrant, who's an actor. We were in the same like little like dormitory bit, and we really got on. Didn't see each other for like 6 years, and then I was doing this job, Mrs. Wilson, which was a 3-part BBC miniseries, and got to the read through, and I'm playing the older brother, the son of Ruth Wilson, and Otto Farrant is playing my younger brother. And
no!
Yeah, one of my closest friends. He's playing Alex Rider in the Amazon Prime series. He's a brilliant actor. So like to have those connections as well. Like if I hadn't gone to MIT, I wouldn't have felt as comfortable and safe as I did on that job. You know, it wasn't even like a direct thing, but I think it can only be a good experience for young actors. Definitely, I really encourage them all to do it. It's so much fun.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, guys. Please come and join the National Youth Theatre. All the information will be in the links in our bio. And also, we do have these kind of sessions with industry professionals, industry talent, really cool people, really fabulous people like Callum, 2 times a month. So if you'd like to join our hub, all the information is on our website. But we're going to say goodbye, which is very, very sad because there's so many questions. And I know if I was watching this, I'd be like, she didn't answer my question. Maybe we'll come back for a part 2. Who knows? Who knows?
By the way, Nella, I just saw, I taught this personal statement course for like a bunch of like university hopefuls. And I just saw one of them commented, and I just want to say, hey, Jasmine, I hope you're doing well.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Well, Jasmine, you are the luckiest person right now. Your comment was seen. And for all the people asking, this live will be saved, so you can come and watch it back, and you can skip to the part where Callum talks about all the hot people in Bridgerton, because I know that's what everyone's talking about right now in the chat. But thank you so much, Callum. If you want him to come back for a part 2, go and hound him in his DMs and we'll get him back. But okay, well, any last words, Callum?
No, just thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun. Great to reconnect with MIT, and it's nice to like have a forum to speak to the Bridgerton gang as well. But yeah, got lots of love for you all. So thank you for all your comments and messages and stuff. It really does mean a lot. So yeah.
Shout out to the Bridgerton gang, and we hope to see you all soon. Oh, and I've just seen Anna Phillips in the chat. Hi, Anna. Anna's actually the reason we got this call together.
Anna?
Anna's it.
Anna's showing her face. Taking her time, has it?
I know, Anna, take your time. But luckily we just saw you at the end. But anyway, thank you so much. Look, they all say they love you, Callum. Thank you so much for joining this little live with National Youth Theatre, and we hope to see you again soon.
Definitely.
Right, bye everyone.